I start school tomorrow. I've been in school for 2 days, 3 days, because I had
With no kids,
yeah,
like no students.
superintendent's conference days, if you will.
Okay.
Not too bad. It sucked on Monday because I got off the plane after midnight.
Can we talk about what happened or no?
Yeah, I don't care.
So,
I'm not just don't say any names or
okay,
companies
yeah, I'm
or
not. I'm not gonna say anything. It just Brad sent me a voicemail he got on his phone, and I listened to it, and I was like, "Oh wow, that was." I'll tell you this, Brad. You know what? As soon as I listened to it, Lindsay and I both said the same thing. We're like, "That is a straight New York phone call." Like 100%. The first 5 seconds, if I didn't know who was coming from, I would have said New York. She's from New York. Just how she handled herself and how
well,
she spoke.
she has a thick accent too.
Yeah, so maybe that made it worse, but just the language she used and how she conducted herself in the voicemail was like,
Could you
damn,
believe that was coming from a company representative?
New York, dude.
So essentially, guys, yesterday during my superintendent's conference, I gave a 30 to 40-minute presentation on our retirement account options. So our 403b, 457 as education. Like, here's how to do this. Here's why you might, like, it very general to just teachers in the building. And in our plan, our 403b plan, we have about 10 different companies. And we'll just say that a representative from one of these companies left me a voicemail and went off the deep end.
She had some big old balls on her. I'll give her that.
Like, you need to call me back. These are disturbing phone calls. You're trashing me. Know your facts. I'm laughing the whole time.
Yeah, it was strange, man.
And Tyra's like, "Oh my god, what'd you do?" And I was like, "I said that actively managed funds with high fees suck."
Yeah, there's nothing wrong with that. It's true.
And I don't think anybody, because everyone's like, "Oh, who tattled on you?" My friends at work, who tattled on you? I'm like, I don't think that anybody tattled on me.
Mm-mm.
I think that she got 10 phone calls today from people being like, "Hey, can I get some details about my account? How much fees do I pay? Am I in an actively managed fund or a passively managed fund?" And then by 4 o'clock, after she got 10 phone calls, she's like, "Why have I gotten this exact same phone call from an exact same employer all day today?" And she probably was like, "Hey, what? I got a lot of these phone calls today. Like, why did you?" And then she was probably like, "Oh, this guy at school gave a talk about our retirement accounts, and these are the questions he said that I should be asking my provider." She probably got tight. How it is kind of crappy that the person was like, "It was Brad Finn,"
Yeah.
you know. But
What do they say? Snitches get stitches.
no good deed goes unpunished, is what they say. And it's at one side of the coin, I'm like, I'm angry. Like, F this. This is ridiculous. But the other side is like, my talk was so impactful. It had so much, it had so much vigor that I had a very large company with commercials on TV call me to tell me that I had ruffled their feathers. I think that's kind of like a little flattering.
It's a pat on the back, bro.
Yeah. Like, in most cases, they should be being like, who cares about this fuckboy? You know?
But hang on though, dude.
But then she was like, "Wait, this is Brad Finn doing this?"
This makes a good point though, because what you did is kind of like what we're trying to do with this podcast and our channels and everything else is so I want to say this, and we can, if we need to cut this out, whatever.
No,
but
we're talking about money. It's fine.
So we said already, this lady can be mad at you for helping your coworkers out. You have nothing to gain from this, and she has everything to lose. So it's more of like, it's not like you're out to get her. It's not like you're out to hurt her, to make her lose her money or anything like that. You're just looking out for your coworkers.
And I have a relationship with this. Like, I know who she is. And I did bring up her name and spoke highly of her when I opened my first account with this company, and she was very, very helpful. She was very knowledgeable. It was great. So when I mentioned this company, and some people in the crowd were like, "Oh, I have that." I know you have that because that's the name in the company that goes around at the water cooler. That's been passed down from teacher generation to teacher generation. Go speak to this woman. She's been at this company for 35 years. She knows her stuff. Okay. That's what I did. And, when people brought, yeah, I know that's where a lot of people go. And I didn't even follow that up with, but you should call her and ask about those fees. No. The only thing I said was like, hey, these are some questions that you need to ask when you're doing your due diligence. You know how easy it would be for me to go in there? Because I know the best fund in all of our 403B.
Yeah.
I know where most people should be, or at least can narrow it down to 3. You know how easy it would have been for me to, guys, we have Vanguard. Go to Vanguard, search up an index fund, probably the total stock market or the S&P 500. Pick which one of those you want. End of conversation, end of day. You'll be rich in 20 years.
Your retirement, you'll thank me in retirement. Yeah.
You know how easy it would have been for me to do that? You know how hard it was for me to beat around that bush?
Mm-hmm.
To not be a Vanguard, to not be a Vanguard fanboy
podcast.
Yeah, to not be a Vanguard fanboy. Like, that's all I wanted to do. But I knew that I was in a professional environment. I knew that I was speaking to a very large audience of people that have never even met me before from all schools all over the district. Tara's like, did you say? I'm like, I know that I'm on YouTube. Like, I know what I can and cannot say, both legally and also like politically. Like, I know what to say.
Yeah.
And all I did was mention the fact that, hey, we have these 10 companies. Each one of these companies has different administration fees, has different expense ratios on their funds, has actively managed funds, has passively managed funds. Here are some things that you might want to look for when you're doing your due diligence. Just like we talk about on YouTube. Here are the things that I look for in a dividend stock. I just said, here are the personal things that I look for in a company. So if some of those people took the bull by the horns and called said company that they're with, and they're like, hey, I kind of just signed up for this thing blind because some lady at the water cooler that I work with told me to do so. Do you mind if we just have a brief conversation about some certain things that I want to know about in terms of the fees of this company and what I'm personally invested in? And she got tight. She was pissed.
I got a question for you. Do you think, or would you ever have interest in this, in becoming like a financial planner or something?
No, I don't care about people's finances, to be honest. In the words of Mr. Money Mustache, I don't care about people's money. I care about the world being a better place. And it just so happens from my experiences that when people have their money right, they're overall happier. They're better people. They're better fathers. That's what I really care about. I can't give financial advice. I really how am I going to say to a stranger what's best for them? That would go against everything that we stand for, right? How many times are we like, personal finance is personal? How many times have we talked about the baby steps and talked about how personal those things are? The only person I can give advice to is my wife. And that's because I know her probably better than she knows herself, and vice versa.
Yeah. I think I would like it though, because I also would like, I don't know.
And you'd want to charge for that information?
I mean, no, because I give it here free, but
right.
I would charge. I would charge for the work I'm putting in to help the people that don't know. I don't think financial planners or financial advisors are bad. Because just not everyone can change brakes on a car. Not everyone knows how to manage their money, and some people do need a little help. And that's why they have personal trainers. So I'm not hating on them. But I do think that they get a bad rep for sure, because there are a lot of them that take advantage of people.
Right.
So I lean more towards the side of I would love to be making a difference in someone's life by helping them with their money. I would feel no worry in getting paid for doing that if I'm taking the time to teach them, to sit down with them, to do meetings, as any other profession, engineer, lawyer, doctor, when you go take up their time, you have to pay them for that. So I don't see anything wrong with that. But my kind of specialty, if I would do this, my marketing route would be, I'll be, how do I say this? I'm your
Least
cheapest
expensive.
advisor with the most value or something like that. And I would sell them and be like, listen, guys, show me what your old advisor is doing to you or what they're doing for you, and I'll show you how I can make it better. And I wouldn't play the like trying to make a bunch of money, because honestly, by that time, I probably wouldn't really need it. It would be more of like a community give back. I'd still be charging though, but
But is what I want to say is it consulting, or are you going to be telling
like
people
taking money
exactly what they should invest?
if I went that
Yeah, like I
route,
don't know if I could sleep at night, like taking someone's money and then putting it aside. I'll consult all day.
Yeah.
I do consult. We
Yeah.
consult.
Yeah.
We have a phone number that you can call, and you can have a consulting call with us. It's linked in the description.
You're
But
saying actually investing the money for them.
I mean,
Yeah.
I mean, granted, and like you mentioned, for me to say they're all bad, I'd be lying to you. I mean,
Mhm.
are they on my bad side? They're not as bad as like whole life insurance policy people or
right.
annuity people. But yeah, no, I just don't know. Maybe there's a difference between somebody that does just consult and has a license for that, and someone that's actively managing
But
somebody's
see, like,
money.
wouldn't you just put the money in like I would say probably 90% of my clients, if I was a planner, I'd throw them in a couple different ETFs. I'd have a little bit of international, like 5%. And again, this would all be based on what they feel comfortable doing. I would explain all the different scenarios, like why you may want a little bit of international, why you may want to be 100% in total stock market, why you may want some VO, whatever it is. If they're closer to retirement, I may say, hey, you may want to be in 50% bonds. Let's see what your budget looks like. Let's see how much money this portfolio is going to pay you while you're in retirement. And that needs to justify how safe we need to keep this money over the 20, 30 years you may keep living for. Like, I would love that, dude. I really would. I would love to help people set themselves up financially.
But you're doing that right now, Jay.
I know you're right. You're right. I think it's just, I feel like it's more of a community focus based instead of a widespread audience like I have now. Cause I get people ask me all the time back home. I'll be honest with you, they're like, hey, do you ever think you'll be like financial planning or doing this? Because we would love to like transfer our stuff to you. And I'm like, no, like I have way too much going on right now to do that. But I know if from the small town I'm in and from like what people know that I kind of do, like I would for sure have at least a little bit of startup clientele if I ever wanted to do that. But I'm to be honest, dude, I probably won't.
I frankly never want to go to school again or take any.
Same. I mean, well,
I don't want to take any more tests. No more tests.
No more tests for me either. And I also would have to work under someone for like 3 years before you can even open up your own like practice or whatever.
Oh, is that a fact?
Yeah. So I'm like, there's no way, dude. No way could I go like, I mean, like I'm not saying I would never do it, but that'd probably be like worst case scenario for me.
Yeah.
So
maybe because I'm a little bit older too, I just have no interest in that.
What financial,
like just starting?
Stuff? Yeah.
I really don't want to start anything new. I told my wife this podcast will probably be like the last thing I start.
Nah.
I knew you were going to say that.
No, you're so lying.
Why? What else do you think I'm going to start?
Oh no, dude, anything. Like that's the fun thing about life. You can start whatever you want. If you get a wild hair up your ass 10 years down the road and what are you? You'll be freaking 50. My God, you're old, dude.
See what I'm saying?
Jesus Christ. No, I mean, who knows, man? You may want to set up like a professional bingo playing club or something. I don't know, dude. Like Brad's bingo or something. No, I wouldn't say you're done for sure after this.
And Josh
you're always gonna have a wild hair up your ass.
Josh made a good comment. He's like, besides the testing and the licensing for that, the people are always going to be quick to try and sue you. You probably deal with so much litigation BS.
Oh yeah, that would be annoying.
You probably have to keep a lawyer like on retainer.
Oh, that would suck. Yeah, that would.
All I did was try and get people to open their 403B, and I got brokerage companies calling me.
Yeah, that's annoying. That would be tough, and that would be a part of that I would not like. I'm definitely more leaning towards like I really don't want extra added stress right now because why?
Right.
Now starting businesses and stuff like that obviously comes with it, and I understand that, but
Maybe
I
I'll
mean,
maybe I'll record it and I'll just edit out her name and information. You could just hear the
yeah, there you
tone.
go.
Maybe
Yeah,
I'll
there you go.
throw that in randomly.
Yeah,
Maybe
let them hear how she's. Yeah. Oh my gosh, dude.
if this video on YouTube gets 1,000 thumbs up, I'll do it.
There you go. It's worth it. I think it is.
I kept it because like it was pretty unprofessional. Like she definitely hung up the phone, cooled down a little bit, and then was like, "Oh man, I hope he doesn't check his voicemails." Like
It was harsh.
as a teacher, I've like walked out of classrooms after like losing my temper a little bit and been like, "Ooh,
Yeah, shouldn't have done that.
that probably shouldn't have said that." Or like I responded to parent emails quickly while angry, or even and been like, "Oh man, I wish I could just get rid of that."
I
Josh,
I'll say this.
Josh said we could make it a voicemail episode.
Oh, yes, that's perfect. Yes. That's excellent.
That's fantastic.
Oh man. No, I think
I don't know.
I know what it was. So with the voicemail and stuff, like, so being in construction, that was just like every day, like every day you got a phone call, someone was cussing you out, or you were cussing somebody out, or getting pissed at somebody out in the field. But then in your kind of background, professional like area expertise, whatever it is, like, I don't know, it just sounded way out of context.
It's super
I would
politically
never
correct.
have left that. Yeah, I would never have left that type of voicemail. Never.
Put it on TikTok and make it go viral.
I would just like talk to your principal, get everything cleared up, and then we'll do it. We'll make it a reel.
Because especially like if I recorded myself, like I wish I was recording myself listening to it for the first time, because it was definitely like, what the?
Yeah.
Even my wife came and like in the like, who is that?
Lindsay got pissed, and Lindsay don't get pissed. She's like, "Oh my God, who is this?"
She was not. This is why I don't want to go work in the hospitals in New York.
Yes. Oh man, that's funny. Jeez almighty.